Hey folks, welcome back to another Pokemon Master video, and today let's talk about, Dawn's 6-star EX, and Brendan's expanded Sync Grid, which only took, I'm not even counting the months anymore, you know what, no, I was just about to count it, right after I said I'm not going to count it, so I'm not going to count it. So, anyways, Brendan and Dawn, they do have a dual banner coming out tonight. Usually these dual banners, they do have some kind of value in terms of, yeah, you do get some extra power-ups when you get the unit, which is nice, but generally there are a lot of old units that have been on a lot of banners before, so really isn't the best banners summon on, especially this month with all those banners going on, right? So anyways, let's first again just dive into the sync pairs themselves, talk about them, and for those who aren't familiar with these sync pairs, we get to know them a bit better. So anyways, starting off with Torterra, Dawn and Torterra. So Dawn and Torterra, they're really great tank, right? It's a support. It's a good tank. So, like, just straight up, like, looking up from the stats, right? So, we got 600 on HP, 270 on defense, 223 on special defense, right? Very bad speed, unfortunately. Solid physical attack, 260 physical attack. I mean, that's more than Nate, and Nate's a striker. So, yeah, a lot of people, like, they do like to compare Dawn with Jasmine, right? Jasmine does have much more physical defense, but doesn't have nearly as much special defense. So Dawn, I'd say, is probably a bit more balanced, although does lean a bit more, towards the physically defensive side as well, right? But, the special defense is not shabby at all. That's a very respectable amount, right? So anyways, getting into the moveset, got Razor Leaf, 2 gauge. It's just a 2 gauge spam that, has +1 crit, nothing too, interesting, I guess. 95% accuracy is something to look out for. It's an AoE. And X Defense All, which sharply raises defense of all. Well, we know what X Defense All is. I have to read the whole thing. Good as new. Fully restores an ally's HP. Removes all status conditions from an ally. Removes a confused, flinching, and trapped condition from an ally. You can only use it once, so it's basically like a full restore. Heal them all the way up, and then get rid of all the statuses, which is really nice. Unfortunately, it's only, 1 MP, but then when you think about it, might be a bit too broken if you had 2, right? So, moving on, you got Seed Bomb, which is 3 gauge move, right? Pretty high base power, 100% accuracy, and, no additional effects, right? So, Dawn could actually do some serious damage, honestly. Dawn could do some really good damage, so this is definitely, a viable option as well. Moving on, got New Dawn Woodhammer, increases if the power increases if the user's attack has been raised. Greater the power of the move. It's kind of like Haymaker, but with a smaller multiplier, right? So as for the passives, it has Vigilance, first of all, which is going to be fantastic, which, by the way, with the Regirock Legendary Arena coming up, this Dawn is probably going to be, one of, if not the best tank against it, because it inherently just has Vigilance, and Regirock crits a lot, right? And on top of that, also has Power Siphon 9, which every time the opponent attacks you, it lowers their attack and then increases, your own attack, which is nice. Every time they attack you, -1 attack for them, +1 attack for you, which further increases Dawn's ability to tank physical hits, right? Because the opponent's attacks, they don't do as much damage. So fantastic physical tank, right? Really don't have anything bad to say about it. It's just really good, right? So on top of that, the Sync Grid has some good stuff in its Sync Grid, right? It has 2 MP Refresh 2s for X Defense All, right? If you do get there. And as for some other stuff, Eagle Eye on Razor Leaf if you're trying to do damage with Dawn. I mean, technically, Dawn could be fully, self-sustainable in terms of, offensive buffs, right? If you really want to go there, although I probably not. You got Razor Leaf move gauge refresh, which obviously helps with her lower speed. Seed Bomb move gauge refresh. You got Good as New Precision Pals, gives +1 accuracy after you full restore someone. You don't have MP refresh on Good as New, unfortunately, right? But you do have stuff like Friendly Shield, increases their defenses. which isn't really that necessary since you have like 2, MP refreshers on X defense all anyways. And then you got some other stuff. Sands of Time charges your move gauge in Sandstorm, though I don't think you have Sand Shelter. I'll do some like really, really good stuff, right? You got Healthy Healing. Gradually heals when you enter the battle, which is fantastic, right? So Dawn does have self-healing. It is on, at 3 out of 5, though. 3 out of 5, you do get Healthy Healing, which is, the big thing over here. You got 2 Tough Cookies, right? Was it 2? Or no, it was 1. Who had 2 Tough Cookies? I think it was, like, Steelix. You have a Tough Cookie over here. The more raises your defense, the more it powers up your moves, up to 30%, right? And then Pecking Order. Oh, yeah, the other one she had was Pecking Order. The more your attack has, your opponent's attack has been lower, the more it powers up to your sync moves. Which is really, really nice because, that kind of ties into Dawn 6-star EX. 6-star EX, obviously for her, it's a support, which is inherently very, very good because you get an extra, you get an extra sync boost when you first use your, sync move, right? Very, very powerful. On top of that, you do have a bit of a sync nuke over here. Well, not a bit of it is a sync nuke. It's just slightly harder to lure your opponent's, attack when it's like multiple layers of opponent. It's really, really great against legendary arenas that could actually let you lower their attacks, right? So that's really nice. On top of that, remember, your sync move also increases if you have more attack raised. So Power Siphon just works very, very well with both of these, right? So fantastic sync nuke there. And then you also got Quick Cure, which is always nice for any tank to have to cure, confuse, flinch, trap, because you don't want to get trapped. You mainly don't want to get trapped as a tank, and you also don't want to get flinch. Confuse is kind of whatever. I mean, it's not the biggest deal in the world, because even if you are confused, you get the sync move countdown stuff, and it's not a 100% chance to hit yourself, right? In comparison to trap, where you just lose HP every single time, and then flinch, you can't even queue up moves that aren't like that cost non-attacking moves, right? So that sucks. But yeah, she does have a good 6-star EX, right? Probably one of the better supports to get a 6-star EX, right? So it is a good one, right? It's definitely great. But moving on to the other one, the more, more interesting one. More interesting because got, on top of 6-star EX, got an expanded Synchro as well. And this is a fantastic expanded Synchro. So let's talk about it. First of all, going over Brendan's base kit really fast. Okay-ish HP, I guess. Good attack, good special attack, decent defenses for a striker, and then really, 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 really good speed. The biggest bright spot on Brendan's kit, in my opinion, is speed. Like, speed is fantastic, right? So, for the moves, got Bullet Seed, relatively low base power, but hits 2 to 5 times in a row. 100% accuracy, 2 gauges physical, right? And then you got Dire Hit Plus. And then you got Leaf Storm, very, very high base power, right? But sharply lowers your special attack every time you use it. It is special, single target, 90% accuracy, unfortunately, right? And you got No Turning Back, which is your trainer move, which uses a maximum of 3 slots on your move gauge. And then based on how many used, it increases your attack and special attack by up to 6, right? So if you use up 3 gauges, you could potentially get +6 attack and special attack, which is incredibly good, right? Incredibly good. 1 turn, you got max attack and special attack, right? So your sync move, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, it's not like that big of a deal. It is physical, Leaf Blade, right? Unfortunately, Sceptile didn't get Leaf Blade, which would have been really cool, because Leaf Blade's a cool move, and Sceptile fits it very well. As for the passives are kind of whatever. Speed can't be lowered and can't get paralyzed. You're a striker, this, so, would not happen to you that much, right? So, yeah, so for Brendan, something that you do want to keep in mind in terms of like lucky skills is you kind of do want to roll a lucky skill on him, because you don't want it to like always lower your special attack every time, right? So giving Brendan like a Dauntless lucky skill would be fantastic. Helps with the Leaf Storm, all that stuff. And also speaking of lucky skills, Dawn's Torterra could also give Dawn's Torterra a Defense Crush 2, because it does have an AoE Razor Leaf, right? Good chance of lowering the opponent's defenses, which makes her even better if you're running her as a tank on a team with a physical striker, right? But yeah, lucky skills out of the way, right? The sync grid is good. It's a good sync grid. you got some really, really nice stuff over here. You got ramming speed and charging sun, right? Extra 30% to your damage if you get +6 speed, and then charging sun 5 extra 50% to your damage if you are attacking under sun. And then on top of that, you have inertia, which is 2 times your sync move damage when you have max speed, right? The only slight issue here is it doesn't have any mechanism of boosting his own speed unless you pick up amped up, which is very, very expensive, right? So you do have to sort of run a speed support with Brendan, which is generally not a huge deal, right? A lot of fantastic speed supports out there. Top of that, you got Brainy Rush 6. Brainy Rush 6 is something you could consider if you don't have enough, cookies to roll for Dauntless. You could roll for like Crit Strike 2 and then pick up Brainy Rush, which gives you +6 a special attack after using a sync move. That does get you like similar numbers with Dauntless. It is slightly lower, but it's not lower by much, right? So that's really nice. So although again, Dauntless I do think is generally better, right? Just in case opponent gets like crit shield or whatever, right? You can't activate Crit Strike in those cases. So yeah, also got accuracy on the Leaf Storm, right? 2, not 2. A move gauge refresh 3 on Leaf Storm, Mind Swell 2, right? Another, I guess, remedy for those who could get Dauntless, right? 30% chance of giving, +1 special attack when you use a move. But again, generally, if you have Dauntless, you could ignore these 2 nodes, right? Then you got some other stun stuff. Solar Shield protects from status conditions, and Sun is kind of pointless. Healing Sun is okay, I guess, right? Heals you when it's sunny outside. And by outside, I mean inside the game, not actually outside. If it's sunny outside and outside your house, it doesn't really do anything. Speeding Sun 3 is Speeding Sun 3, right? Yeah, that's about most of his grid. Got 4 sync node power-ups, right? So he does have a 6-star EX as well. It's a decent 6-star EX, right? You do have some limitations, unfortunately, all right? Because if you are going to 6-star EX him, it's going to be hard to use Charging Sun unless you run Blaine, which again, Blaine does run out relatively quickly, right? If you're fighting shorter stages, no problem, right? With Blaine. If you're running, fighting harder stages, longer stages, Blaine, not a very, very great or reliable Sunsetter, so maybe you can't get that extra Charging Sun 5 over there, right? But what you do get is that Sync Nuke, AoE Sync Nuke on Inertia, which is fantastic. Which is fantastic and really, really good, right? So, yeah, both of these great units. Great units. However, again, in terms of the banner, it is, again, another one of those duo rerun banners that give, like, EXs or synchro expansions, and also gives you extra power-ups, right? So if you do have the resources, doing some dailies on these are fine, but again, I wouldn't really invest too much into the banner, especially when we do have, like, we still have Gloria's banners is up. Is Steven and Cynthia's banner going soon? Oh, it's still around for a while, right? That banner is nice, right? The Gloria banner is nice. Potentially getting N, right, in a few weeks, right? Potentially a few weeks. N could come to the game, right? And we also got that Counter Trio banner, which looks nice, right? If you don't have any of those, 3 out of 5, that would be, except red, I guess. That would be a nice banner to go for. What else? Oh, the Christmas banners, which are incredibly, they're limited banners, once per year. They're generally, not anything. The units aren't crazy, in my opinion. Like they're good. They're all really, really good, but they're not crazy. So generally for the Christmas banners, just if you really, really like the outfits, if you want to collect them all, they are limited, right? But in terms of power-wise, nothing game-changing. Not that like any of these are like really game-changing either, honestly. But I do find I think all the Poke Fairs are probably better, right, in general. So there's that as well. But I guess if like the only people who really are gonna summon on this banner, if you're really you're a huge Sceptile or Brendan or Don Torterra fan, then okay, go for it, because this does again have really good rates, right? It's a 3% rate to get either one of them, 1.5% for each, which if you're targeting only one, it's slightly harder. If you want both, I guess you could go for it. But again, like I mentioned before, not a really great banner to invest too much in. Probably save your gems for a lot of the other stuff that are coming up, right? And the other stuff that are still here, right? So anyways, yeah, that's me with this one. I guys hope you guys enjoy. Let me guys think in the comments down below. Like and enjoy this video. So channel for some more analysis content. I'll see you guys in the next one.